Welcome, everyone. Today we're stepping back into the exciting coinage years between 1959 and 1965, a period filled with change, history, and hidden treasures. These Lincoln cents may seem ordinary at first, but each date carries its own story, design charm, and collector value. From the debut of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959 to the mint mark-free issues of 1965, these coins capture a unique chapter of American history that every coin enthusiast will enjoy exploring. First up, the 1959 1-cent coin without a mint mark is often regarded as a turning point in the history of U.S. coinage, and for that reason, it holds a special place in the numismatic community. Although to the casual observer it might appear like just another old penny, collectors know that certain varieties from this year can be extremely valuable. It marked the first year the Lincoln Memorial Reverse design was issued, replacing the earlier wheat ear motif that had become familiar to Americans for half a century. This change in design, combined with the era's historical significance, has made the 1959 issue a particularly attractive coin to those who are interested in the evolution of American currency. Even in worn or dirty condition, this coin can generate curiosity because of its strong connection to a major transitional year. The backdrop of the late 1950s helps explain why this coin carries such weight in history. The Lincoln cent had already been in production since 1909, created in honor of Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. By 1959, the nation was preparing to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it was deemed appropriate to redesign the reverse to feature the newly constructed Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. The absence of a mint mark on many 1959 cents indicates they were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark during this era. This was a time when America was experiencing post-war growth, with expanding cultural pride and renewed reverence for its national figures, all of which contributed to the importance of this cent. What makes the 1959 Lincoln Memorial cent fascinating are its artistic and technical details. On the obverse, it continued to display Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln, with the familiar inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust. The reverse, however, introduced a sharp and highly detailed depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, complete with a tiny yet visible figure of Lincoln seated inside, a unique feature that set it apart from almost all other U.S. coins of the time. Struck in a bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the coin measures 19 millimeters in diameter and weighs 3.11 grams. For many collectors, the debut of the memorial design gave the 1959 cent an additional layer of historical importance, making it a must-have piece of the Lincoln series. The rarity of the 1959 no-mint mark cent depends not simply on its age, but on specific varieties and conditions. Regular strikes are not considered especially rare in circulated condition because millions were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. However, coins that have remained in pristine, uncirculated states are much more difficult to locate today, especially with full original luster intact. Errors and transitional anomalies, such as the famous but controversial 1959 D wheat reverse cent, which sparked debates in the collecting world, have further heightened the mystique of the 1959 series. Collectors often pay particular attention to die variations and doubling, which can turn an otherwise common piece into a highly desirable rarity. When it comes to market value, this coin demonstrates the wide gap between ordinary examples and rare, high-grade pieces. A typical 1959 Lincoln cent in circulated and dirty condition may hold only modest monetary worth, often under $1. However, coins graded at MS-65 and above, especially with brilliant red surfaces, can command prices in the $2,500 to $3,000 range depending on the specific grade and eye appeal. Exceptional examples with rare varieties or errors can reach much higher figures at auction, sometimes climbing into the thousands of dollars, particularly when backed by strong certification. These valuations reflect both the historical charm of the 1959 issue and the ongoing demand among serious Lincoln cent collectors. For those seeking to collect this coin, careful attention to details is essential. Collectors should learn to distinguish between standard circulated coins and the more valuable mint state or error examples. Submitting a coin to trusted grading services such as PCGS or NGC ensures both authenticity and accurate grading, which can significantly affect its value. Storing coins in a protective environment, such as archival quality holders or albums, helps maintain their condition and preserve their potential value over time. Many enthusiasts recommend acquiring these coins from reputable dealers, coin shows, or established auction houses rather than informal marketplaces, where counterfeits or altered coins may occasionally appear. The 1959 1 cent without a mint mark represents more than just a piece of metal. It embodies a cultural and historical shift in American numismatics. It marked the end of the beloved wheat-ear reverse and the beginning of a new era with the Lincoln Memorial design. While common in lower grades, the coin's rarities and varieties keep it alive in the spotlight of numismatic discussions. Collectors who pursue it are not only adding a transitional piece to their holdings but also connecting with a pivotal moment in U.S. history, one that blended tradition with modern symbolism. Ultimately, this coin continues to appeal because it straddles both accessibility and exclusivity. Almost every collector can obtain a 1959 Lincoln cent, but only a few can acquire one in outstanding mint state condition or with rare die characteristics. Its story combines artistry, history, and the thrill of discovery, making it a versatile piece in the numismatic world. Whether valued at just a few dollars in well-worn condition or reaching into the hundreds and even thousands for the rarest examples, the 1959 cent proves that even the smallest coin can carry immense historical and collector significance. Next up, the 1965 1 cent coin without a mint mark has become a fascinating piece for collectors, not because it is immediately rare in appearance, but because of the era and circumstances under which it was produced. To the untrained eye, a dirty or circulated example might look like just another Lincoln Memorial cent, but within the numismatic community, this year's issue carries a certain mystique. It was struck during a period of major shifts in U.S. coinage policy, which makes it highly desirable for those seeking coins tied to transitional or experimental years. Collectors today value the 1965 cent not only as a standard piece of copper coinage, but also as an emblem of economic and political changes in American history. The context of the mid-1960s explains why this coin remains important. The U.S. Mint had just removed mint marks entirely from coins between 1965 and 1967, a policy decision made to discourage collectors from hoarding coins at a time of national coin shortages. For that reason, all 1965 Lincoln cents were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, even though no mint mark appears on them. This was also a time when the Mint was experimenting with removing silver from dimes and quarters, which heightened the attention on coinage overall. As part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, the 1965 penny symbolized continuity in design while also marking a period of tension and reform within the Mint. Visually, the 1965 cent adhered to the same design that had been in place since 1959. The obverse carried Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln, flanked by the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust, with the date 1965 below. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's rendering of the Lincoln Memorial provided a detailed backdrop, complete with the statue of Lincoln faintly visible at its center. The coin was struck in the standard bronze alloy of the era, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. Although common at first glance, examples that retain sharp details, full luster, and brilliant red surfaces remain visually striking and far more appealing to collectors than the average circulated piece. Rarity in the 1965 cent comes primarily from condition and select varieties rather than low mintage. The Mint produced well over 1 billion of these coins, meaning ordinary circulated examples are plentiful today. However, uncirculated coins that survived with vibrant red coloration are scarcer because the soft copper alloy was prone to toning and wear. Even more desirable are error coins, such as double dies, clipped planchets, or off-center strikes, which can turn an otherwise common date into a highly valuable find. The historical suspension of mint marks also adds an unusual feature to this year, making it unique compared to most Lincoln cents produced in the 20th century. In terms of market value, the 1965 cent demonstrates how condition plays a dramatic role. A dirty and heavily circulated piece is generally worth only face value, though its historical background can make it more interesting than its monetary worth suggests. In contrast, a high-grade mint state example certified as MS-65 or higher can sell in the range of $100 to $500, while coins graded MS-67 with a full red designation have been known to exceed $5,500 at auction. Rare error types can fetch even higher prices, sometimes reaching into the thousands depending on their uniqueness and demand at the time of sale. Collectors often see these coins as affordable entry points into the Lincoln cent series, with the potential for significant value in the right condition. For those looking to add the 1965 cent to their collection, a few strategies can help maximize value. It is essential to inspect coins carefully for original luster, as copper cents often lose their brightness over time. Certification from grading authorities such as NGC or PCGS is strongly recommended for higher value specimens, as it provides both authentication and a trusted grade. Collectors should also store coins in protective holders to prevent environmental damage, as copper is especially susceptible to corrosion and spotting. Searching through unsearched rolls or purchasing from established dealers and reputable auctions can also increase the likelihood of finding valuable high-grade examples. The story of the 1965 Lincoln cent highlights how even a coin that seems common can possess historical and collector significance. It marked a deliberate change in mint policy, bridging the gap between tradition and adaptation during a challenging time for U.S. coinage. Its lack of a mint mark stands as a reminder of the nation's efforts to stabilize its circulating currency, while its enduring design ties it firmly to the long legacy of Lincoln's presence on American money. In the end, the 1965 cent without a mint mark illustrates the complexity of numismatics. It is at once ordinary and extraordinary. Collectors value it for its place in a historic decade, its potential for rare varieties, and its ability to surprise with exceptional examples that achieve impressive market values. Whether it appears in a well-worn, dirty state or in brilliant mint condition, the coin connects enthusiasts to a moment in U.S. history when economic policy and artistry intersected in the smallest of denominations.